Good evening, good morning, family. This is Queen Common Sense coming back to you from where we at, holding it down. I was having a good conversation with my son over here, and sometimes he's, just a little bit camera shy, but we were having a good conversation about this situation because we try to take all our situations we go through, good and bad, and find a lesson in it, find where we fuck up, and try to move forward, making better choices of what we do and who we surround ourselves with. And it is trial and error for the most part because sometimes it's hard to read people. Sometimes you get certain things that trickle through about a person, such as myself or anybody else who might want to challenge me and my character and who I am. And I was talking to him about the situation that just occurred with the dude that you love to hate. And he said something really interesting. I wanted to share it with a lot of people who might be going through the same thing, and experiencing the same, set of situations. So, sorry about that, fam. Phone call coming through. But yeah, we were just talking, me and my son, my youngest, he's 20. And I wanted to put this on, and capture it because he said something really wise. And you were saying about your friend and the conversation.
Pretty much my friend, a group of friends and I have the same issue. It's the same little concept, really, that people like to down talk other people behind their backs to try and win a certain person over. And more specifically, it's a female. And because I don't have the mindset that they do, thinking I have to get in every girl's pants that I associate with, they feel like I'm trying to do the same thing. And just because I'm associating with her on like a normal level as a friend, they get offended by that, or they want to try and say something and downplay me to them for no real reason at all, just to try and win them over when all that isn't even really necessary. But it's really just petty stuff that needs to stay in high school because I'm done with all that.
Yeah. Now you see your elder going through the similar thing. You see your mama, you see people your mama's age, going through the same thing with this experience. How online can trickle into your personal life and vice versa. And we're very open, you and I, age appropriate, of course. Now that you're an adult, we can talk about more poignant things. Yeah. And in this journey that we're seeing right now, when these issues arise in our little unit, tribe, or whatever, the most proactive thing, what do you see or what have you learned from how in watching me handle things like this, watching how I navigate through things like this? What did you learn? If anything, what would you say and give advice towards the situation if you had to, say, try to mediate or bring resolve to it?
Well, really, if I was in that position, from what I've learned from you, I would just overlook it, really, because if I know it's not the truth or whatever they're saying is not the truth, then there's no point in me upsetting myself and worrying about whether or not it's the truth.
Exactly. Now, I want to point out which is significant to me. My son is a Virgo like me, very straightforward, mostly quiet. He's a firecracker like his mama when he gets riled up on something he's passionate about. He's very, very strong presence. He's more quiet, reserved most of the time. But when he's really passionate, he will get crunk just like me. So this is coming from a 20-year-old observing 40-year-olds, mid-40s in a situation, that was created by an individual who initiated the very behavior, there was a conversation had about a third party, and it was very negative right off the top, without the dude you love to hate even knowing if I knew the other individual or not, based on solely suspicion and hearsay and watching this third party who is bone picker. So if you shit on an individual to someone else you don't even really know that well, that is immediately a red flag for me to say, okay, clearly this person has, something they want to share. They've shared it, and they don't even really know what type of individual I am to share that type of stuff. Now, it's real easy, as me and my son were talking about, to take, what was it you said? I want you to use your words. You put it in good words. To use a phrase that you hear, or to take a sentence or a comment out of context. He was talking about that.
Pretty much people trying to use words that they are not really familiar with in order to make themselves look like they're intellectual, or to make, that person they're directing them to look negative so they can try and impress someone, or, whoever the other party would be in that situation.
Right. And this is what I saw on the onset, was people talk to me all the time about a lot of things, because I'm in the business of talking to people and learning behavior and studying people, because I would like to try to help people heal as I heal from life circumstances that happen to us, the choices we make, the things we fall into and fall prey to. But that seems to be like a journey that's unheard of for anyone to truly care about people and really want to bring something good to the table. Also, you were saying about how somebody could say something to you, you respond to it, and they take it to somebody else and relay it wrong.
Pretty much, yeah, that's how it goes. Once a certain person hears something, or let's say they have ill intent towards another person at that time, they'll go and try and bring up something that's irrelevant to the topic or the situation as a means to, try and get an upper hand, or whatever their intentions are at that time.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's to save face, like I'm being accused of by the dude you love to hate, to save face. Now, these are topics that were brought to me initially, and I responded accordingly, because at that time and in place, I didn't really talk to anybody much online. I had a busy offline life. Son, as you know what I was doing at that time in my life. So at our life, because we were doing it together most of the time. And, it's easy for people to come in and assess a situation based on bits and pieces of information, which is notorious on social media. It's notorious. So someone can take something that you say and innocently saying it and turn it into, this goddamn scandal, just because you say you made a mistake, or you found yourself in a compromising position, or, you have been, stumbled, or you might need a little help or support, whatever. They take that and scandalize it. And then they want to take it and then filter it down into where it reflects on a person's character, And I don't know a single person out there who is willing to admit when they truly have messed up and own it. It's not an easy thing to do for any of us, because we see the error, we know we have to accept it so that we can change it to go forward,
rather than, people accepting that, they always want to try and argue with some kind of technicalities that they have, or something that's beside the point, like I said. And the whole situation, wouldn't have sparked if a person had the, audacity to actually confront the problem directly instead of spreading rumors or telling tales, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of people don't like being wrong, so.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, when you made a mistake, or you screwed up, or you took, something and tried to do something positive or make a move or reach for something and it doesn't pan out and it turned into a negative. It's automatically labeled as your intent was to be malicious because someone else sees it that way. Someone else told me this is what your intentions were. So now this is true because I see and agree with this person without the details and also omitting details. I know you shared stories with me like that before with some of, your acquaintances back home. There's very, very, a lot of that going on, in the street and on social media. And this is something that a lot of people can learn from, to think independently from what people are saying. I always want to try to identify with the target first to see, and try to collect as much facts before I form an opinion. And when you see the same patterns in the same people, and you see the same people in the same mixed up type shit over and over, and they always dragging other people in it to further campaign this smear campaign or slander or whatever you want to call it. You see the same person doing the same shit, but nobody realizes it because everybody observing and witnessing and watching as an audience is wrapped up in the drama and the emotionalism of this person. And I always look at it like this. When someone say, I'm not trying to, that means I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try to subtly manipulate you into doing it where you don't resist. Well, it's not like I'm trying to get in your business, but I've done a video about that. It always is what they say it ain't. And if they say it ain't, it usually is. So when a person saying, well, it ain't like I'm trying to shit on old boy or nothing, but, shit like that really sends a red flag to me. And to be very careful and selective what I say and what I share personally, private information or sensitive information. Sorry about that. Another phone call. Business. The day is getting ready to start, so got lots of stuff I'm being asked to do for my job, believe it or not. And friends calling, checking on me too. But, being that I'm fake, I don't have no friends either. So, but that's another story. So yeah, but you were saying, son, that we were talking about the add and delete and stuff with the rumors and the, shitting on another person to make yourself look good.
9 times out of 10, when people tell a story, they're going to tell it in a way that suits their circumstances at the time. And then once they do that, and they have other people that want to side with them, it's always going to be people that have ill intent towards you to begin with, or that you're already on bad terms with. So they think just because of that, they have power in numbers. But if it's just a bunch of people with a bunch of irrelevant facts, then you can't really do anything with that. You would have to find someone that is, actual viable source or directly from that person. And if you're trying to, receive information that's already on bad terms with that person, of course they're going to say what they can to, spoil your reputation or make it sound like you're a bad person. It's only natural. It's obvious.
What I found out too, when people cannot gather anything, that's clandestine or negative about you, they invent things, you know.
They invent things and resort to derogatory terms.
Right. Oh, and they start slinging mud, name calling, you know, terms like hoe bitch, you know, tramp, slut, dumbass, stupid bitch, you know, stuff like that. Because they can't obtain the control over you or over the situation that they really want. And they don't want to truly confess their true intentions, because then that would make them appear the same as they're trying to paint you to be. If that makes sense. You're not going to admit, I'm trying to fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't able to. So now I'm going to lie to fuck you up. You know, of course they're not going to admit that. Of course they're not going to announce their intent to say, you know, my whole intent was to see if I could continue the pattern that I've been doing and sliding under the radar because everyone thinks I'm so transparent. That goes through the filter. It doesn't catch in the filter. So after developing time and doing this, and people see it, it's documented, you know, with this person's behavior, and it has been discussed, their pattern of how they do people. When they get close to someone or someone tries to be friendly, that person will be shit on. And it's a pattern of people that this person shit on, but this person is going around shitting on everybody. And they're the one that always portray it as, look at what happened. Look at what this person did. Look at what that person did. Look at how I've exposed this person for this fake. I've exposed that person for that fake. And all this person is doing, the dude you love to hate, all he's doing is running around creating problems, stirring up trouble, looking for things to try to damage someone's character, damage their reputation, damage their family, use certain information to exploit and capitalize from. That's all you see them do. People like that.
Looking at it from the whole psychological aspect, it just seems like somebody that is not used to establishing attachments with people, you know. Mm-hmm. And pretty much once they do, it goes bad. I know a lot of people like that. You know, that's how my own friend Johnny was. You know, he wasn't used to having a lot of friends, or, you know, he got everything he wanted from his family. So when he made friends, he didn't know how to treat them. Mm-hmm. So it's like, when you think everyone wants something from you all the time or something like that, it just becomes a pattern. And you're going to be paranoid all the time and do things like that.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is the same thing that has happened to several different YouTubers who, you know, have tried to show themselves friendly to the dude you love to hate. And the majority of them have been females. And he has said and done some very disparaging things to people that I know very well. And like I said, I did get permission to use names. And Lovey 2000 was one of them before me. And I met this individual through Lovey 2000, through Bone Picker, through a lot of other YouTubers who also are connected with him. And I began to see early on that the intentions of this individual wasn't very good. Although he says he's a good dude. Now, I don't know any good dudes that, you know, will talk to a new person and then out the gate take a dump on someone else and then go on to talk about other things as if nothing ever happened. Not once, but twice. Now, we're all entitled to our own opinion, observations, feelings, and stuff like that. But that's just what it is. It's observations, feelings, and opinions. It doesn't make it true. However, when you see a common thread of what's going on, and you see this same person in the same mixed up bullshit, jumping over back and forth over the same fence, when they say they done with something, they turn back right back around and involve themselves right back in the same shit that they said that they were done with. Yet they can point the finger at everybody else around them and how stupid everybody else is and how dumb everybody else is and how sleep everybody else is, and has openly admitted that he's a manipulator and he loves to manipulate things and go against the grain. This is the same individual who is always in the middle of a spar, a debate, what have you, but he's a good dude. This is somebody who is caught up in a hurricane and a tornado of ongoing drama with the women in his life. And this is an individual who feels as if it's okay to exploit not only those women in his life, but other women too outside of his normal everyday life, if they allow him to. Which goes back to what my son just said, is this is an individual who's not used to making connections, who doesn't know what a genuine connection is. And the connections that he does have long term with any females have been and are dysfunctional. Now, it's easy to flip it back around on me and say, what about you? What about your history? Your daughter said she didn't know about this or know about that. Or her daughter said this and this and that. It's easy to say that. It's easy to invent what was said and add to and subtract from what was said, especially after not being able to accomplish your initial goal that you set out to. See, I take all that into consideration when someone comes to me, especially with negative shit about someone else. I can give my opinion. That doesn't mean that that's true. However, the facts of the situation are, do we have them all? Are we willing to put it all on the table? Are we willing to be truly, totally candid and relay exactly what happened so people can truly make their own decision and come to their own conclusion, as opposed to manipulating the conclusion in the way that he wants it to be? That's very easy to do, and that's the oldest trick in the book, is let me make this person look as bad as I can so that I can continue to do the things that I've been doing and get away with it and nobody call me out on it. And see, this is an individual who feels like women are beneath him anyway. This is an individual who thinks that women are like toilet tissue anyway. This is a person who feels like women have no sense, no logic, and can't think for themselves, and feels he has to be in control. If you watch, the evidence is right there on the screen, in Hangouts, on Blog Talks, everywhere. Everywhere he goes, he has to be in control of the situation. And if he is not, then as has been pointed out, there are a slew, an influx of videos trying to reestablish his position and be the winner of the debate, even though he was not. Now, there are times where I have seen where he did very well with a debate. There are other times where I see he didn't do so good. You win some, you lose some. However, that does not give this dude you love to hate the authority to shit on anybody else just because he didn't win the debate or win or accomplish what he originally set out to do, which was try to expose me like Black Indigo was exposed. And because my video allegedly was so powerful, that really set set off an alarm in this individual and the people he's associated with to come for me and totally try to tear me apart like they do any other black woman that they so choose. And then who knows, in the process of doing this, we lose lives like Asia McGowan and many other women and men who have not made the news over this internet dumb shit. Now, as a single woman, I go through the same thing that some single men do. My son just said, his acquaintances and friends feel like that just because he's friends with a female, he's trying to get in her pants. I have been accused of the very same thing because I socialize with different people and talk on social media. Ironic, social media. I have a job where I connect with lots of different people. And I'm on an educational journey where I connect with lots of different people. Many different levels. Now, it's easy to sit on the outside looking in and go, yeah, she gotta be fucking him. Ain't no way that he would respect her that way or have that type of regard for her if they hadn't fucked. Somewhere along the line. Or she like him, she always smiling up in his face. He like her, he always smiling up in her face. When it's really true friends, sitting, having a conversation, hanging out, doing what friends do. See, a lot of the black community have really sick, disgusting minds. And because that's how they define their connection with the opposite gender or complementary gender, a lot of black men feel that if a woman is not fuckable or she is not desirable sexually, then she's not going to receive any human respect. If the woman does not let certain men objectify her, or they can't prove that she is a gurney twerker, they take any little thing, any slight weakness or what they think is a weakness or vulnerability and try to use it against her. You broke bitch, you Section 8 hoe, you begging for money. I made it public that I had issues with finances because, like I said, I went through a very messy, nasty divorce. And I know a lot of women in my shoes who went through the same thing, who not only did they help me, I helped them. And that's what I thought community and friendship was all about. When you see somebody struggling and they need a little help in any way, whether it's money, support, just love, understanding, whatever, that's what you do, is you help them as much as you can. And I'm of the philosophy that if one of my friends come to me for help and they really are in need, I don't look for them to repay me unless it's absolutely necessary. Because if you're asking for help, usually it's going to be a minute before you can repay it. So just don't worry about it. Because that was going to be spent somewhere else anyway. And if I can't afford to let it go or give it, I'm not going to give it. So that's just me. Everybody's not that way. And I don't expect everybody to be that way. However, understanding is the key. And me and another older sister of mine is a YouTuber, talked about it. Because we had the same experience, I was tardy and it turned into something bad, but we got it back on track. Then understanding came back and we're cool. And that's what I love, and that's why I love her, because she understands me a little more now, and I understand her a little more now. And there was a simple miscommunication on my part. You know what I'm saying? We fixed it, we discussed it, we moved forward, past it. So that's what I look at. That's what I look at about a person's character, my own character, working on myself too, looking at everything, how I can help build up my own character, my own children's character, things like that. So, you know, it's easy to shit on somebody when they don't let you get what they want, when you won't openly allow them to invade your privacy, when they're not man enough to just ask you elements about yourself so they can learn from you who you are. When they have to go around to other people who they think you may have beef with or may be at odds with and pump and pry and poke for information. It's easy to create division. It's easy to destroy something that you don't understand or you don't care about. It's easy to get up in the morning every day and say, I don't give a fuck about nothing. It's easy to say, I'm the dude you love to hate, and glorify the fact that people hate you and say, I'm just misunderstood. Sometimes you might want to look inside and say, you know what? Maybe it's not everybody else that's the problem and that's pissing me off. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the miserable one because everything I touch turns from sugar to shit. See, there's a lot of observing I do as well. And I don't have to make video after video after video in one day about what I've observed. I come and make a video. If something moves me, I put it up and I hope that it touches someone. I hope that it helps someone as it helps me to process and document it. But we got niggas around here thinking that oh, she Miss Goody Two Shoes, she ain't shit. I'ma show everybody she ain't shit neither. As opposed to embracing that and saying, well, damn, somebody hitting on something that's hitting on me and I need to maybe absorb some of this and maybe I can take it with me and pass it on down to somebody that I can help. No. This individual is a very selfish asshole. All you hear is all my problems are me, me, and me. Ain't nobody trying to help me. I'm tired of everybody shitting on me. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at what they're doing to me. Look at what they're doing to me. But then turn around and say, I'm acting like a victim. And they will reach so far as to say, oh, this can get worse when you don't have anything bad to begin with. When you have twisted and turned things around in your own mind to be negative,